So, welcome back to the Ice Talk series. I'm Mike and I run the Spray Days YouTube channel where you can find all sorts of graffiti and street art content, including video edits, competitions, artist interviews, and much more. Today's guest is a bit of a Birmingham legend. He's been painting for over 30 years. He's one of the founders of the High and Mighty crew. He also took part in the Spray Days sketch series competition and he's painted at the Junkyard a few times. So with all that said, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Ken Vegas. How's it going, mate? You okay?
Hello, mate. Yeah, all good, thanks. All good.
Good, good, good. Thanks for sitting down with us. I mean, in that intro I said about painting for over 30 years. What age did you start to paint?
Bloody hell. I started tagging when I was about 14.
Really?
So that would be about 84.
Wow.
But I didn't do a painting till about 86.
Okay,
I was
cool.
mainly going out and tagging and getting up and just enjoying the thrill of putting my name everywhere.
Definitely.
So yeah, about 86 was, I suppose, proper started. So
yeah, and was that on your own or was it with some friends or?
Started off with friends from school that weren't really that much into it. I just had to kind of cajole them into it. And then they all got bored of it. And I started college and I noticed one of the other kids doing a bit of an outline in his book. So we got chatting and he took me out on the weekend and showed me all the spots and that was it then. I hadn't really seen any paintings and I was just gobsmacked. It was Cryse, well-known Birmingham old school painter.
Yeah.
And we struck up a friendship and it kind of started from there.
Awesome, awesome. And it's Birmingham where you grew up and where you were born?
Yeah, yeah.
And have you always lived in Birmingham? Have you ever moved out of the area?
No, I mean, we're just outside of Birmingham now in the Black Country, but it's, it's still West Midlands. It's not that far away, really.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And you said about starting tagging and graffiti. Did you notice other people's tags? Is that why you started? What sort of kicked you off?
I think way before that, there was like skinheads round by us that used to write stuff on walls.
Yeah.
And there was one guy called Longshot, and he used to do like this little outline in felt tip on walls and bits and bobs. And I was be about 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And I was amazed by it. So I took to getting markers and writing just random words and little obscenities here and there when I was really young.
Yeah.
And then I saw some graffiti in a magazine and it just blew my head off. I was just like, fuck, I've got to do that. I must do that. It was when all the breaking and that come out, I guess.
Definitely.
And I was crap at breakdancing, so.
So you took to paint instead?
Yeah.
Was there a big scene in Birmingham? Because I mean, you see the pictures from back in the day and the buses and the roads, it's just covered. Was it that noticeable when you were young?
Yeah, at one point it was absolutely battered. There was a massive scene in Brum. A lot of it was tagging. I mean, they even got to having like plainclothes police on the buses, which call them the Yorkies.
Right.
And what they started doing was sitting on the buses and seeing anyone tagging, and then start documenting all the different tags.
Ah.
So if you got arrested, they did you for all of it.
Shit.
And a lot of people got raided and a lot of people got arrested. I was fortunate and I never did. So.
Right. That was going to be one of my questions. Did you ever run into any troubles?
Not really. I was quite lucky. We had some amazing chases.
Yeah.
And a couple of real close calls, but I never got into trouble for it myself.
And was it always the police? Was it always the police chasing you, or was it ever just pissed off members of the community, or?
Mainly police.
Yeah.
Mainly police. I got chased, tagging on a Saturday afternoon, ran through a park, and it was like a dead-end park, climbed over the railings into this alley, started to go up the alley, seen a police car coming down, so run down the alley, jumped in someone's garden, straight through their house. When I went to go out the front door, this woman was hanging and washing up, run past her, opened the front door, seen a police car, just come back in, just made up some story about some kids who are going to beat me up, and this old Indian guy, and he come and sat me down in his living room, made me a cup of tea, let me wait until they got.
That's wicked, man. That's wicked.
Yeah.
Was it quite common in Birmingham then? People were used to graffiti. It wasn't something crazy happening.
No, it did get quite bad. I mean, there was an incident where two crews were on the top deck of a bus and started trying to outdo each other with the tagging. In the end, the bus stopped, and one of the taggers started driving the bus
Shit.
with all the writers on, and the police come from everywhere. It was it was quite mad.
Wow. Yeah, it seems like the Wild West or something back then.
It was bad. I mean, it wasn't friendly then either, like it is now. So it was a lot of beef and
Okay.
a lot of fights.
Yeah.
It was not like it is now, where everyone loves each other. Definitely not.
No, it was more competitive and more about territorial and that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the end, Brum kind of split into more or less, I'd say, two crews that kind of encompassed two areas of Brum. So you've got Southside Mafia, which was huge.
Yeah.
And then there was another writer who's sadly passed away now, Colt. He started East Coast, and it got a bit mad towards the end.
Tension there, tension.
Yeah.
Jeez. And did you get involved in any of that, or were you just neutral? You knew everyone, or?
We tried to keep out of it, but there was a few instances. There was a few little bits and bobs. Some geezer started using my tag, so I kept lining him out, and we saw him, chased him into a park, and we sprayed his head chrome.
Chrome dome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was mad times. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely.
And was there any writers that were prevalent in Birmingham, like that stick out in your mind that you remember?
Oh, definitely, yeah. There was a crew called UBA, United Bad Art.
Okay.
They were just the cream of the crop. There was other good crews as well, but they just seemed to have all the best writers. You got Des. Chase was just incredible, and I'm lucky. I've got one of his original sketches in a little frame over here somewhere.
Oh wow.
Tisky as well. Tisky was just streets ahead of everyone. There was really, really good writers. And then there's Zuki as well that used to write mix then.
Yeah.
Zed as well. There was a few that was real standout for me.
And
now I've met them later on in life.
Yeah.
It seems there was a mutual admiration, which I didn't realise back then. I thought they were way above me. It was good times.
You were on their radar. That's cool to know.
Yeah. Quite surprising to know. I mean, me and Tim Zuki are quite close now, and he said like he saw us as his biggest rivals, which was a huge compliment.
Yeah, totally. Was there a certain style in Birmingham? Like, is there like buses were known there? Was there something that was the goal, like the golden thing to do in Birmingham?
I think back then it was, if you didn't do a certain thing, then it was you were shit. You was a toy. So you had to do your 3D block and a little bomb on there or something. I think it was all quite generic back then, and everyone more or less kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
If you stood out, you were kind of frowned upon a little bit.
Yeah.
So you had to try and copy the code, but not copy it, kind of thing.
Totally. And do you think a lot of influence was coming sort of up from London as such, like writers coming up?
I would say so, yeah. Because Zombie used to tag Rate at the time. He moved up to Birmingham from London.
Yeah.
And his hand styles and everything was just like, wow. So, of course, everybody started copying it. And definitely a big influence from London and obviously from America as well.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And has there always been sort of paint jams? I mean, you go to Birmingham now and it's just every hoarding's covered. You've got sort of Digbeth, you've got all these great areas. Has that always been the way?
No. That's only been the last few years, really. It's always been tucked away in mainly illegal spots.
Yeah.
We was fortunate we had Selly Oak for a very long time.
Okay.
Which was a good legal park, and had some big names paint there.
But no,
I think that's quite a new thing, and I think from what I can make, I'm not a massive part of the Digbeth scene, but from what I can make out, they just kind of started painting it. There's a lot of empty factories. And I think what they're going to do is they'll slowly let it get more and more empty, and they're going to knock the lot down and redevelop the whole area, so all that graffiti will be gone then, which is a shame.
Yeah, for sure. And they're doing a whole new university and all new flats and everything around that area.
Yeah,
redevelop.
I mean, it is. It is a bit of a mess. It's a shame about the painting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's
that's sort of the nature that graffiti thrives in, I guess, sort of abandoned buildings and warehouses.
Well, yeah, goes hand in hand, really, doesn't it? It's, you know, it's a mess. It looks a mess, and I think the graffiti makes it look way better. So, you know, it's always going to go that way. But I think we'll start seeing the end of Digbeth quite soon, which is a shame.
Yeah. And you don't think that once these development companies have moved in, that they'll start designating areas or walls or anything for graffiti artists? They'll just sort of push them to the side.
Yeah, I doubt it very much. I mean, it's always baffled me why the council don't encourage it. You know, encourage artwork to go in some of these not so nice areas. But they don't. I can't see them changing anytime soon.
No. And I guess, I mean, it keeps the beauty of graffiti as well, because for me, it's about going to them areas that you wouldn't usually and hunting or going to a certain town you've never been. And it gives you a reason.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
Did you start traveling around with graph? Did you leave Birmingham much? Were you going to see friends in other towns?
A few years ago, we did do a fair bit of traveling. We went to, I have painted abroad a couple of times as well, not a great deal, but we used to travel around quite a bit. Just we used to go to Wales quite often, to Cardiff, go and paint with Cruel Vapours and Rare Bit and some of the other guys. We've painted down in London a few times. Was lucky enough to go to Brighton and paint with Aroe on more than one occasion, which was something I always wanted to do. And he's such a good guy.
Right. I was going to ask about that. Yeah, I saw a photo on your Instagram of yours and his pieces next to each other. I had to ask, like, what was it like painting with him? I mean, he's a big name in the scene.
Yeah, it's a huge name. He's a huge person as well. He's a big guy. But he just made us feel welcome straight away. Yeah. And he's a good guy. I got on really well with him, and he introduced us to a lot of other people. Yeah. And he's a good guy. Got a lot of time for him.
That's awesome. And have you found with traveling around and meeting people like that new jams come up, you end up collaborating with new artists?
Yeah, that does happen quite a lot, obviously. I mean, I don't paint so many jams these days. I used to paint a lot, but I find now I'm getting older, I'm not getting the same amount of time to paint.
Definitely.
So I want to make them count a little bit more. And when you paint at jams, quite often you spend most of the day talking or ignoring everyone.
Yeah, totally.
So get your wall done. Yeah,
for sure. But at the time, did that help you develop your style? Were you looking at other writers' stuff or were you just focusing on what was in your mind?
I try not to look at other graph too much, because I think you can subconsciously kind of pinch bits without realizing.
Definitely.
I mean, obviously, you know, it's very inspiring to see other work, but I think you've got to be careful that you don't get you know, see too much of it, and before you know it, you're doing something. You think, hold on, I used to do that. It's just easily done. It's not a copying thing, but you can get influenced too much sometimes. Okay. For me personally, anyway.
Yeah. So where do you find your influence? Is it music? Is it comic? Is it visuals?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I've kind of gone from. I went through quite a wild style phase, and then it started getting simpler. And I think the stuff I'm doing now is more like a representation of a letter. Like if you cut it back, it's just shapes.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
that kind of resemble the shape of the letter.
Totally.
But looking through some old photos, I found an old photo from 1989 in Warsaw, and did this little section was our crew name. And I looked at that, and that's the same. It's made up of like triangles and half circles. So I think it probably has been there for a while, and it's just slowly come out and
Subconsciously
developed over the years. Yeah. I think I'm pleased that what I'm doing now is probably quite recognisable as mine, and nobody else is. So that's kind of cool. But I think it needs to develop more still.
Yeah,
definitely.
For me, it's
Whether it get
really
more simpler or more complex, I don't know.
Yeah, it's which way do you go with it? And if you always writ Chem, was it always those 3 letters?
No. My original tag was Endeavour.
Okay.
NDEVA.
Yeah.
And basically, because of the tagging and the Yorkies and the police and all the rest of it, a friend of mine got arrested and said they tried to get him to kind of tell on me, and showed him my file. And he said, "Your file is fucking huge.
Yeah.
If you get caught, you're gonna be in trouble." So I started tagging Chem, but it was CHEM.
Right.
After about 3 weeks, I got totally bored of it and give it to somebody else. And then what happened, I stopped painting about 89 and didn't do anything, no sketching or anything, till about, oh God, I think it was 2002, something like that.
Right.
And because I've kind of gone on the internet and seen a lot of the old writers that I knew were painting that just was so good, I thought, what can I do? I don't want to use my old tag until I, because I'm going to be crap, basically.
Yeah.
So I used Ken. And I thought, people that know me will know it's me or think it might be me, but I won't recognise, it won't be too obvious. No. And it kind of stuck. And then I actually don't like the letters Chem. So then I started painting Vegas pieces, which is another story all in itself where that came from. But I just like the letters, basically. So I still use Chem, but I mainly paint Vegas pieces.
For sure. I was going to ask, like, how important that is when a writer's choosing his letters. Do you think it's usually just off a nickname and they have to sort of push through with the letters they've given? Or do you think most people choose names with letters they really like to paint?
Yeah, that's a good point. The way I always done it was just choose the name and then work with what you've got.
Yeah.
And Vegas was a fluke, really. We was going to do a series of paintings and do it like a storyboard. About like a little hustler geezer, and his name was Remo Vegas.
Nice.
So I think we did one painting, and it never materialised. But I just really liked the name, so I stuck with the name.
Yeah.
And that was it. There's nice balance in those letters.
Definitely.
Kind of flipped it, really.
Yeah, and it gives you sort of a different scope for different wall size. You can fit anything. You can write anywhere.
Yeah.
And with the sketching and the practicing, when you first write, did you sketch first? Did you practice loads before you picked up a can and went to a wall, or was it the other way around?
Definitely, I sketched for years before I even picked a can up to paint with. Definitely, yeah. I don't really sketch letters very much anymore. I have got a black book and I've got lots of drawings and stuff, but I very rarely paint them.
No.
I'd rather just turn up and just, work out on the day and go with the vibe. I mean, I know what I'm doing, so I just kind of get it to fit and jump in with everybody else. And colours as well, I don't really plan them as such. I just kind of work through it. If I take a certain set of colours, quite often I'll only use half of them and start putting something else in as well.
Yeah, just getting
how it goes on the day.
Yeah. And when you said about the sketching that you sketched for years, did you feel you had to do that? Like it was sort of a pass to paint graffiti?
For me, yeah. I mean, because I'd tagged for a while and people knew my tag, I felt like when I painted, it needed to be good. I felt the pressure of it.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't want to, because everybody knew me, and then if I do a shit piece, everyone will be like, it's crap, you can tag.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it took me so long to do my first piece. I've done dubs and that, obviously, but
yeah,
I put myself under a lot of pressure for my first wall, I think.
Totally, man. And do you remember that piece? Do you have photos and everything of it?
Do you know, I was thinking about it today, and I think one of my first pieces, we decided to do it, oddly enough, on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of Brum under a canal bridge. And quite surprisingly, we got chased off by a load of police. And I don't remember the piece at all. I have no photos of it. It never got finished. And I did do another one not long after that at Spaghetti Junction, in like this tunnel under the motorway. We used to call it the Dungeons.
Right.
And it was kind of very close to somebody else's work, and it got dogged to fuck. They were all over it.
They weren't having it.
No. Yeah. So yeah, that was an early one. They were so small back then as well. The pieces, they were tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny pieces compared to how we paint these days. They were minuscule.
Yeah. And was there respect in Birmingham? Did people, or was it the opposite way where people were just out to cross people and for beef? And
bit both really. Yeah, some stuff would just get dogged. I mean, there's still some really old Birmingham pieces still about with just an odd little tag on them here and there. So some of them have lasted the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, stuff would get dogged straight away.
Totally. Because I guess writers come from out of town and they're not aware, and it's just a free for all, I guess.
Yeah.
And with the crews, and talking about crews and stuff, with the High and Mighty crew, how did that sort of come around? I mean, an awesome bunch of guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite surprising actually how it's kind of developed. I mean, I'm really proud to be a part of it now. We've got some great writers in it, a couple of international writers as well, and everyone in it, I love their stuff.
Oh man,
awesome
artists.
It kind of come about. I had a writer, Moans.
Yeah.
He contacted me and wanted to paint, so we went out and did a painting. We got on quite well. And we did a few, well, we got on really well. And we did a few.
Such a good lad.
Yeah, he's quite infectious. He's very, like, I don't know, you just can't help but get excited with him. And we was painting on the Saturday. He phoned me on the Friday. He was going, bro, I'm going ham tomorrow. I'm going ham. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't know what you're on about. What's ham? And he kept going on about it. And then the next day, he said, we should make a crew, ham. I said, what's it going to stand for? He went, I don't know. So we kind of got the ham, but then we had to think of what it was going to be. Yeah. And it came from there. And then within a few weeks, we got Warner from Poland in it. He came over for City of Colours. And Moan's been talking to him, so he joined, and he's just brilliant. His work is outstanding. I love it. Amazing. And then this little Korean guy come over called Spiv. Painted, did like a European tour, stopped through in Birmingham, painted with Moans, and he's joined it, and he's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And slowly it just built and built and built. I think there's about 15 of us now, 14, 15 of us.
Yeah, I keep seeing more additions to the crew. It's wicked. It's wicked to see.
Yeah, it's growing quite well, and it's been tricky for us all to get together, especially with a couple of guys living abroad. But hopefully once all this current situation's over, we can maybe get something planned.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely. And within the crew, when you sort of form in a crew as such, do you look for certain elements, or just do certain things turn up?
I think the good thing about High and Mighty is we got like a group chat thing, and we just all get on so well.
Yeah,
it's all laughs and jokes, and it's I don't know. It's just kind of the way it's gelled together is just kind of happened on accident, but it's worked really well.
So you've got some people that do the characters, letters, backgrounds. You've got everything, really.
Really, yeah. I mean, we've got poetry in there for the characters. Sean Rism does characters as well, and his background. I mean, he's an amazing all-round painter.
Totally.
I think we've got most bases covered.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Pose. I mean, his artwork's just insane. How did you meet him? Was that through Ham and the crew?
No, through Instagram.
Right.
He messaged me on Instagram and talked about us painting, and we kind of half planned the wall, and then nothing happened, and then he got in touch saying, "Are we going to paint then?" And we was, "Yeah, okay." So we met up, and the first paint we did was a play on the Sixth Sense film.
Right. Yeah.
And I just got on with him straight away.
Yeah.
He's so dedicated and driven. And again, it's very infectious. He makes you work hard. I need somebody sometimes to kick me up the arse.
Totally.
So I'm a bit too laid back sometimes. And it's just a great guy to paint with, and we got on really well. And a fantastic addition to the crew, definitely.
Totally. And other than Posea, is there any other people that you specifically enjoy painting with, whether it's for their skills or just their attitude in general?
Loads. I like painting with Moans because we have a good laugh. Gypsy is just one of the nicest, coolest people ever.
Definitely.
Same with Wanna, he's the same. Yeah, all of them really. All of them. I like painting with my brother from another mother as well, Mac One.
Right, yeah.
He lives locally, and we've painted off and on together for years and years. I mean, some of his work is just absolutely mind blowing. His portraits and some of his 3D work, all of it really.
Yeah.
And he only lives literally up the road. And so we paint together off and on over the years. Not as much as we should have, I think.
Yeah.
But he makes me work in a different direction, if that makes sense. He's more art based than graffiti.
Yeah, it's a
makes me think a lot more. So yeah, I like painting with Lee as well. With Mac,
yeah. And do you paint much like portraiture or characters like in sketchbooks or anything?
Well, when I first started getting back into it the second time round, I got to meet Mac because somebody saw him painting and thought it was me because we look very similar.
Right, yeah.
And we kind of met that way. And he was doing a lot of photorealism then, and he just kind of threw me in at the deep end and made me do it. So I used to do quite a lot of it, not so much now. Then I went more into characters rather than lettering.
Yeah.
But I haven't done a character for probably about 3 or 4 years now.
Right.
I just find them more. They're harder work than letters for me.
Definitely.
Letters not come easy to me, but letters I find I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Than characters, and I wouldn't want to do a character and not do it justice.
For sure.
If I can't do it as good as I'd like it to be, I'd rather not do it.
Yeah, and you've got.
And if you paint with people like Posea, there's no need for me to do a character. It just would be silly.
Do you think that's an essential tool, though, for a graffiti writer to be able to do all the elements? You know, not just have one sort of weapon.
I think if you can do both, it's definitely better. Yeah, definitely. It's just, again, as I said, now I'm getting older and less time to paint. I'd rather just concentrate on what I enjoy and what I feel I'm better at.
Yeah, 100%.
I do get the odd spells where I think, I think I'm going to start doing characters again.
Yeah.
I mean, I've started sketching them again lately. So I figure I can't go out and paint them until I get used to sketching them again.
Yeah.
So I've been sketching quite a few. So you may see some from me again in the future.
Wicked.
You may.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. And I mean, we gazed over black books a bit. I wanted to talk about that sort of culture. And have you seen that change? I mean, they used to be the thing, everyone passed them around. That was your way of seeing who was writing. Is that still the case? Do you still keep them? Do you still hand them around?
Personally, no, I'd never give anyone my black book because it's hours and hours and hours of work. I don't mind sharing pictures of it, but I think in the past I've done pictures, drawings, outlines, whatever, and people, friends or whatever, have seen them and gone, "Oh, I like that," and I've gone, "You can have it if you want."
Yeah.
So I've got years and years of nothing, and now I try and keep hold of them. So I've got quite a collection now. We've got through some of the old ones, so I kind of forgot I've done them.
Yeah.
And some of them I look at, think, bloody hell, I like that. And other ones I look at, think, Jesus, that's awful.
Depends
But
what time
they're
you're
good
looking
to
at 'em.
have. Do what?
It depends what time you're looking at them, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you think that's important to document what you're doing as a graffiti artist? Because I mean, it's so temporary. People just come and paint over stuff. Is it important to you?
Yeah, I mean, years and years ago, a lot of the stuff I've got no photographs, nothing. So recently, I have started to try and collate a folder of all my. I'm trying to get a picture of every wall I've painted that I can remember.
Yeah.
I've had to get in touch with some photographers to help me out. Andy Woodford sent me a load of
Oh, yeah.
pictures. And there's ones he sent me I forgot I'd painted. So at the minute, I'm trying to get them all together, and then it would be a case of putting them together in chronological order and trying to, I don't know, print them out or get a little book made or something.
Definitely.
I mean, I picked up a load off the internet, off Facebook as well, from back in the 80s. That again, I forgot I painted. Oh, bloody hell!
That's wicked.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
I was going to say you should definitely do a book or something. I mean, I saw you were featured in a few books and magazines looking back through your stuff. And do you think that's important for the culture as well, to keep doing zines and pushing out physical copies of stuff?
I think so. Yeah, because it'd be lost otherwise. And when I've been asked, I'm always absolutely over the moon. I think, oh my, yeah, that's amazing, brilliant. To actually go out and buy a book from a shop and you're in it, you know, it is like very rewarding.
Really,
without trying to sound big-headed, it's a nice feeling.
yeah,
It's a nice feeling to see. I mean, the fact that this book's out at all is brilliant. I mean, I've got quite a few on the bookcase over there.
definitely, man, definitely.
And they're just great to have. They're brilliant.
Have you always collected and sort of got other people's work and sketches, prints, books? Has that been a passion of yours?
Not as much as I'd like to have done. I've got a few prints. I've got some original paintings off Mac. I treated myself to a gent print a couple of years ago. Nice. In the shop. Didn't want to thought I've got to have it. Just got to have it. I've done a couple of swaps with Zuki, but I've not got loads. Lucky enough to have that Chase original sketch, which is one of my prized possessions.
Definitely, man. That's sick.
Yeah, he was way ahead of his time. He was just amazing. His paintings were really good.
Yeah. And is there anyone else that you really just like, you're blown away by their work doing it today?
Yes. And he's a good friend of yours, I believe, Mr. T1.
Oh, really? Yeah, Gav's insane.
I absolutely love everything he does. I've always been a fan of his. From back when he was doing more like generic graffiti. Yeah. I think we battled them in a Right for Gold or something a few years ago.
No way.
I seen he was painting against us and I thought, oh, shit. Luckily, we won. We scraped through and got the win. But his new stuff, I just love all of it. I love his sketches, his paintings. I mean, I saw one the other day of some fruit or something that he'd done. Yeah. And even that, I was just like, oh. He's a real nice guy as well.
Yeah, it's so underrated. I don't get how he's not huge and massive and blowing up, because his paintings are just so beautiful and such an artist's touch.
They just draw you in, don't they? You just find yourself just staring at them, and they're just, I don't know, they evoke an emotion in you. You're just looking at them thinking, oh, I love his work, absolutely love it. I'd say at the minute it's probably my favourite writer. And you, Moans, if you're watching. I love Moans as well. He told me how to say that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. That's sick. That's sick. And is there anyone that you think you could work with, like maybe new members for Ham? Is it just going to keep growing and growing?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the right person. I mean, there has been people that were in it that are not in it anymore.
Yeah.
We won't put up with any kind of attitude of like thinking they're too good.
Egos.
Yeah. If you see any sign of an ego, you're right.
Yeah. It's more about having fun and enjoying painting, right?
Yeah, and some mutual respect, I think. And at the minute, we've got a really good little I say little squad, quite, it's a good tight squad at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. Are you going to do some sort? I mean, when this is over, obviously, are you going to get everyone together and try bringing people from overseas, maybe?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, we keep talking about it, but everyone's so busy. It is difficult to tie it all down. So I think we need to be, put something down in place in the future, and all try and work towards it.
Set a date and get something going.
Yeah. I mean, the most difficult one, because one is in Poland at the minute, but once this is over, he's moving back to Ireland.
Okay.
So that'd be easier. So the only awkward one at the minute would be Spiv, who's over in Korea.
Okay, yeah.
And he's such a funny guy. He's quite random and he just cracks me up. But if we can get him over in some way, get us all together, I think that'd be absolutely wicked.
Really cool. And like now, how it's an effort to go and paint, and it's hard to find the time. Was that the way when you started painting, or was it like an everyday thing, a weekend thing, or?
I think back when I was younger, I was very selfish, and I just went out every day. It's all I thought about. It's all I did. I used to get to work. I'd tag on the bus on the way to work. I'd leave work, tag on the bus on the way home, and then go out all night tagging.
And was the paint shops there and that sort of thing at that time, or were you getting stuff from sort of other shops?
Mainly, yeah. There was no obviously specific graffiti paint like there is now. So it was car paint, and we'd go to like Halfords or different shops and basically steal as much as you can.
Yeah, all the old rust-on and shit.
Yeah, and Parsons. Parsons was the shittest paint ever, but you could get that quite easily. It was awful.
How's paint changed over the years? I mean, now you've got so many brands, specific colours, everything you need.
Well, my first painting back in about 2002 or whatever it was, I went to the local car spare shop and bought car paint because I knew nothing about Belton or any of the paints. And I did a character on it, Vornbo character, and I used some kind of red primer to get the skin tones.
Yeah.
I used all sorts on it, yeah. And then when I did find Belton and some of the other paints, I couldn't use it at first.
Right.
Because it was I don't know, it's too good, because in the old cans you used to have to, use the can pressure a lot more, and certain colours didn't cover it all, so you'd have to build it up slowly. And to go from that to about to pick up a can of yellow that covers straight on black was just like,
what's going on?
Yeah, mind blowing. It was good.
Did that help you out then? Do you think that you had to paint with all the crap paint in the start, that now it's just like, it's a joy?
It's definitely a joy now. I mean, I've tried most of the brands and I've stuck with Loop. I think Loop is, for me, Loop's the best paint out there. It's a mix of everything. I stuck with Belton for years and years. The main reason I stopped using Belton is they used one of our paintings on their site without asking us.
Really?
Yeah, without any props, nothing at all. I just happened to stumble across it. So we contacted them and said, well, it would have been nice to be asked or whatever. And they just totally blanked us.
Yeah.
And then I think the quality went down with it. You'd get a can and you'd be painting with it, and it kept changing colour. And then 94 come out, so I switched over to that, which was that slow for detail. It's just brilliant, quite chalky. I stuck with that for a while, and then I went on to Loop, and Loop's it's a mix of all of them, for me anyway. I think it's a great paint.
Absolutely. Really good. And do you have a supplier? Is there a certain shop that you prefer, or?
I always use alfresco.
Yeah.
And order it online, because I went down there when he first sort of opened, and we painted his train wall a couple of times. And I just got on well with him, and he looked after us, so I just stuck with him.
Definitely.
I know there's other suppliers and there's people that are probably closer, but like I say, he's never let me down. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
No, definitely, definitely. I mean, he seems to do a lot for the community, and there's a lot of writers I see posting and tagging him up, which is awesome.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
So yeah, I always buy my paint from him.
that's wicked. That's wicked. And you're going to head back there anytime soon to paint on them trains in the backyard?
You know, I've said to Moans a couple of times, and some of the lads we should go down and paint these trains up, because I haven't been there for for ages, years. I haven't been down there. It's changed. I'd imagine it's changed quite a bit now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to get down there at some point.
The other thing I was going to ask about with buying paint is it's so expensive. I mean, some people don't realize the cost of just throwing up a quick piece.
Yeah.
What's the hook? What's the addiction for you? Is it you want to paint a better piece next time? You want to meet new people?
I would say, yeah, you just always want to improve. I might be happy with the painting for a week or two, maybe. I think, oh, that's all right, but I should have done this, or I should have done that, or I think it's never being happy with what you've done keeps you going on. It's like a puzzle you can never solve.
Yeah.
So, and it can be really frustrating sometimes, and it can be really rewarding at other times. It's just, yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't paint as much as I used to, but if I don't, while all this has been going on, I started a painting and had to leave sharpish.
Right.
I went back to finish it off, and again had to leave sharpish.
Right. Bad omens.
Yeah, so I thought, so I've not painted since this has been going on, really.
Right.
And I'm starting to get quite itchy now.
Yeah, I bet.
And I prepare myself, I start to get a little bit almost down, almost like really pissed off.
Yeah,
so
demotivated.
Yeah, I need to get out and do something, definitely.
And how have you been coping? Have you just, I mean, we've got the sketch series going, stuff like that, but what else have you doing to keep busy?
I've been doing some drawings, pushing myself on some drawings, trying to do some characters. But mainly I've been working on the house. We moved into this house about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It's quite a big house, needs a lot of work.
Right.
So I started doing that. Yeah. And to be honest, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying working on it, and seeing it come together. So yeah, that's kept me busy.
Yeah. And are you looking to, is selling your work anything you'd look at doing, or is it just for fun? Is it for the love of it, or?
I have sold work in the past. I did push it at one point. I've sold a fair few bits. I've sent canvases to different countries and prints and stuff, but don't really push it as such. Some of the sketches I've done lately, I've had a couple of commissions come through off that, so I'm halfway through those. But
sick.
I'd rather do something for me, and then someone go, I love that, and want it, rather than commission me to do something. I feel a bit of pressure if they commission me. I think, oh God. Obviously, yeah, it'd be good to sell work, but it's not the be all and end all for me.
No. Would a ham show be something you'd think about doing? I mean, to promote the other guys as well as yourself?
I think Moans is already putting things in place for that.
Nice.
And he's got a couple of things that he's done that are just brilliant. They're so clever and so cool.
Oh man, I can't wait.
That may be happening. It might be next year now, but I think something will be coming along for like a ham, and it would probably be a travelling exhibition as well, which would be interesting.
Definitely, that'd be awesome. I mean, there's the graph shops now always have an exhibition space, and they're always looking to push people that are doing something. And another thing I was going to ask is, if you were a graffiti writer and you were starting up today, like, what advice would you give them? I mean, you spent all these years painting. Is there any shortcuts you could hang out, or?
To be honest, I have had a few messages of people starting out saying, "What can I do? I want to do this." And it's just practice. You've got to put the work in. Yeah. Same as everything. If you want to be good at something, you need to work. I don't think there is a shortcut. I think the paint definitely is a big help.
Yeah.
Probably the internet as well, because obviously we didn't have that then, is a massive help, because you can watch videos on YouTube of people painting, so you can pick up little tricks that way.
Definitely.
But really, the key is hard work. Just keep at it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Enjoy doing it, I guess, as well. If you don't enjoy doing it and it's more of a job for you, then it's not your game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing it full time for about 3 years, doing commissions and bits and bobs. And at the start, I thought, oh, this is the best thing ever. I'm painting every day. I've got a garage full of paint, and I don't have to buy paint. But then I found it took the enjoyment for me of painting for myself. I was just like, kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
Took the edge off it a little bit for me. I'm not saying that's the same for everyone, but for me, yeah, I didn't enjoy painting for myself as much. Maybe I painted a lot of things I would never have dreamed of painting before.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot, but yeah, it's not really for me. I still get the odd request for commission walls to come through. But I kind of pick and choose at them now, to be honest. If it's something I think, oh, that looks a ball ache, I won't bother.
Yeah.
I'll pass on somebody's number.
Yeah.
But luckily, I think it was last year, was it year before? I had a couple of commissions last year where they literally just wanted me to go and piece.
That's awesome.
And that was just like, oh, this is good. I could get used to this. That was great.
And do you think more of them are going to come around now? I mean, the people are breaking the barriers to graffiti. They're realizing it's a real art form and something to look at.
I don't know. I hope so. It'd be great. That'd be brilliant. We'll have to wait and see. I'm surprised I got those two last year. The brief was to come and do a piece.
Yeah.
which was brilliant.
It's a dream for a graffiti writer.
Yeah. I think something we'd all like to do is to get paid for what you enjoy doing. Definitely.
Yeah, totally. And in Birmingham now, I mean, you see people like Jen and that they're just totally just covering the place. Do you think it's better now? Do you enjoy Birmingham more now or before when it's a bit sketchy and a bit hairy?
Oh no, definitely no. I mean, Gent is just brilliant. I love his work. I really do. I've been lucky enough to paint with him, and he's just, I don't know how he does it. He just turns up and rocks on these walls, and they're just brilliant.
Oh, it's awesome. Really
great to see. It's great to see.
Is there a certain area you'd say to check out if you were in Birmingham, maybe that might not be that obvious to people?
Well, he started. There's a lot of gent paintings popping up around the Chinese Quarter now.
Okay.
As opposed to Digbeth.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of, he's realising that Digbeth is ending, and he's moved to another part of, which is right in the city centre. It is the city centre. So I think that's brilliant. And I'd love to get on a wall over there, because that's right in the centre.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's great to see. It's brilliant to see.
And is that totally changed? I mean, back in the day in Birmingham, where was it excluded from the cities? Was the piecing and stuff stuck to like motorway bridges and that, and the city centre was just bombing?
Early on, there was a lot of paintings in the city centre, in subways, just around the outskirts. I mean, and there was Radcliffe tunnels, which was, you went underneath the Queensway, it's like a service subway or something.
Okay.
So you used to send somebody down the dual carriageway to walk round, and they'd come through this big long subway, and there was a door the other side by the library,
right,
that you could only open from the inside. So you'd open the door and let everyone in, shut the door, and we used to stay in there all day, all night, and paint. That's all closed off now, obviously, but there was a lot back in the day. All the paintings were in the middle of Brook.
Right.
Subways and this, that, and the other. But then slowly, we painted a subway on a Sunday afternoon, and I always remember we looked round, the two policemen just walked straight past us, didn't say a word.
Jeez.
And we were just like, fucking hell.
That's a touch.
Yeah, I don't know quite what happened, but they weren't interested at all. But most of the stuff then was in the city centre and the subways and that, and then it kind of disappeared, got pushed out. And obviously now it's creeping back in again, which is good to see.
Yeah. And was there any spots that you had your eye on that you've sort of never been able to hit that you still look at now, or?
Oh, definitely. I think every writer, wherever you go, you're gazing out the window or whatever, and you think, bloody hell, I'd like to paint that wall. You know, I think every writer does that.
Yeah.
Every writer. Plenty of walls I look at and go, God, I need to get some on there.
And is there any cities or like European cities or anything that you want to go to for the scene and to paint?
Don't know. Not really. I mean, yeah, I'm not that. I've painted abroad a couple of times. I think the best one was I did one in New York, and they flew me over to go and do this painting, and that was the same. Do whatever I wanted.
Oh, nice.
They did one something specific, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, come anyway and paint whatever. So I did. So that was cool. Yeah, I'm not really one of these people that's got massive plans to go to the Bronx and paint. And go, oh, I'm going to go. I'm not. It's more about the painting than the location for me, I think.
Totally. Yeah.
And who with. I mean, yeah, I would paint abroad, but I'm not overly fussed. I'm not that fussed, really. That's just me, probably being too laid back and being lazy.
Oh, no, mate. I mean, you're making complete sense. It's the act itself and the enjoyment, especially with your crew and stuff. You can have so much fun. It doesn't really matter where you are, whether you're in an alley or like at an event. It's still great fun.
I'd say that I'd like to go to Cardiff again. It's a nice chilled scene there.
Yeah.
And the guys there are they're great.
Good
friends as well.
I'll have to go and check it out. It's not something I've ever been to Cardiff, so that'd be wicked.
Yeah, there's some good stuff down there. Some real good stuff.
And then another question was like, do you always think you'll be painting? Is there an end to it, or are you just going to carry on?
That's a good question. Every time I slow down, somebody kicks me up the arse and makes me go out more.
That's good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm 50 in a couple of weeks. I don't know. When I stop enjoying it, I guess.
Yeah.
Not really give it much thought, but I think I'll still draw and maybe go into canvases a bit more.
Yeah.
I've done a few canvases. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever stop painting. Where the walls will slow down. I'm in my little mobility scooter going up and down. I don't know.
You could put your paint in the front.
yeah. That would be handy in the basket.
Oh, man.
I don't be able to paint long walls.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I've just got to say it's awesome because I mean, I don't know many people have been painting as long and have got the attitude. I mean, you're non-stop, and it's awesome to see with the crew and stuff. It's just really admirable. There's not enough people, in my opinion, doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean, I can't thank you enough for sitting down today and sparing some time. I mean, it's been great getting to chat and hear a bit about Birmingham history and your sort of life.
I really appreciate it. I was quite shocked when you asked me, because I've seen some of the other ones, and they're really interesting. Like, and then when you asked me, I thought, oh God, I'm going to be really boring and shit.
Not at all, mate. Not at all. It's been wicked. And I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy it as well. I mean, everything we've discussed, I'm going to put links to below. So Instagrams, pictures, anything like that. If there's anybody else that you want to see on this series, just comment below, let me know, and I'll do my best and see what I can do. But apart from that, we'll see you next time, and we'll say bye.
See you later, man. Nice one.